on the West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, all around the United States, checking your boy out and helping me as we introduce this inaugural, I should say, podcast, everybody. Yeah, I'm really excited about it and just really appreciate y'all once again. Listen, this is a show that's going to bring you edutainment at its finest. That's right. We're going to bring you the latest in education. What's happening in education around the valley? What's happening in entertainment all around the world? And then, of course, what's happening with you? Of course, you have an opportunity to call in and talk to a lot of my wonderful guests. And as a matter of fact, today on this inaugural show, I'm going to get a chance to speak to a legend. You're going to hear from a guy who I'm so very proud of, man. Got a chance to meet him some years ago. I had an opportunity to just witness the work. This man is not only an entrepreneur, a visionary, a producer, a director, a designer, father, family man. He was my friend. Everybody, I'm real honored to welcome here at Straight Talk, none other than our friend, Mr. Dame Dash. What's happening with you, Dame? How you doing there, sir? What's
good.
going on?
That was great. That rollout, that was great.
Was that pretty cool?
That was cool. That was on point.
I know you know all about directing and all of those big things, man. But hey, thank you so very much, man. I really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, man, helping me kick this thing off. And what a way to do it. But with somebody special like you, you know, when people check out your interviews, they say, man, Dame always got something to say, and ain't no telling what Dame is going to say. And so, hey, it's all good. I appreciate you being here today. But what's going on with you as we deal with this pandemic all around the world? What's happening with you and your family?
Well, you know, I always try to find the light in the dark. So, you know, for a lot of people, this has been a nightmare, and my heart goes out to them, but I've tried to turn this into my dream. So, you know, a year ago, we were like, you know, me and my girl, Raquel, were 7 months pregnant, and we lost a baby. And, you know, right before the pandemic and the lockdown started, we were able to do the IVF again, and a year later, we have a baby. So we were able to, you know, go from the dark to the light. And all that's in our rear view, and we learned from it, and we're celebrating now. You know, and then pardon? Oh, the baby's dope. He's about 3 months, 12 weeks tomorrow. And, you know, it's my advice to anyone is when you have a child, really have a child with someone you want to be with, and give that child a fair shot and be with the child. You know, I've had other children, I have 4, and the situation wasn't like it was today. I was always visiting my children and fighting to see them, and being able to wake up with my child, go to sleep with my child, grow with my child, never have to fight the moms. You know, you can see the difference in the child. So I would suggest that's like been my ultimate dream, what I've been working really hard to attain. And now that I've identified my dream, I'm actually living it. But I've also been very productive as well. So, you know, we did a magazine, you know, it's a little top secret joint, but I'll show you. We did a magazine. And I've also been very productive as far as education and learning the needs and how to change the curriculum. I've been meeting with the OSG network, and that's Dennis McKeezy and 90 black principals across the country and the world, actually, and just talking about the needs and you know, the way we're going to have to reapproach education and, you know, the new curriculum that needs to be implemented. And if they're not going to do it, we'll do it. We actually, Rocky and the women of OSG actually wrote a syllabus and a new curriculum that I'm actually implementing with my child now from 0 to 3rd grade, and then so on and so forth. And, you know, we put together this crew called the Commission, and it's funny, the Commissioner, but, and that's Senator Eddie Milton, Congressman Andre Carson, it's Dr. Chris Pennell for medicine, it's Dennis McKeezy for education and the 90 principles. We recognize unrecognized trauma. So there's therapists, there's Taj and Melanie, and there's also religion and the history of it with the Bishop Purnell. Do it all. You know, there's about 8 of us, and what we do again is we talk about the issues, have our agendas, bring awareness to them, figure out if we can get the laws passed, and if we can't, then we figure out how we can do things ourselves. You know,
you got a lot going on there, but yeah, let me take us through a journey through the mind of Dame Dash as you deal with the various perspectives, you deal with some of the obstacles that come your way. For all of the young entrepreneurs that are out there, for all of the men and women out there who are trying to maybe diversify or even change the trajectory of what's happening in their lives. Take us through a journey in Dame Dash's mind in terms of how did you come through some of those trials and tribulations to do some of the things that you're talking about here today?
Well, what I've learned to accept from a very early age is that when I sign on to a game, I have to, kind of accept everything that comes with it calmly and just understand that it's all part of the game. And I usually don't try to fit into a game or play by the rules of a game. I usually change the game and create my own. And I know what comes with that. So, basically being successful relatively early makes you, kind of confident. And you understand that, doors will be closed. Will feel like the lights are going to be shut out. You will have to take losses, which will be learning experiences. But at the end of the day, you have to understand what the war is and what a battle is. A battle is something that you fight, you learn from, you might lose on purpose just to, understand how to win the war. But the war is all that counts. And you have to understand what your war is and what you're fighting for. What I'm fighting for is the love and my family and the people that I love not to have to go through the same trials and tribulations that I've gone through. So coming from where I come from, where the recourse of doing something wrong or not doing it right is death or jail or someone you love getting killed, being in a legit world, if it's not jail or health, if I'm all right, it's all part of the game. It's always the darkest before the dawn. And again, physically, nothing is ever really so traumatizing, ever. It's about emotion, breathing through it, and just, understanding that you have to fight, work hard. Nothing happens very fast. Quick money is money not to be trusted. You just have to understand that it's all part of the game. And that's
Quick
it.
money is not to be trusted. Okay, I'm feeling that, and I hope that that's a nugget that dropped on somebody that's checking us out here today. But I want to take you back, Dame. You talked about the journey that you and Rocky went through, and had a chance to hang out with you and Rocky when you were here in Las Vegas, and appreciate hanging out with the both of you guys. Man, we had a lot of fun. But want to ask you, as you guys went through the journey of becoming parents together, you have a real interesting perspective as it relates to women. I love the fact how you said that, hey, we got pregnant. She didn't get pregnant. We got pregnant. You know what I mean? And I appreciate and respect that 100%. But I want to hear from you because you did an interview recently where you talked about perspectives of a woman and a woman's role. Can you share that with our viewers here today on this particular podcast?
Yeah. Well, to me, God is the creator of life. And the only situation I know of that creates life is a woman. A man can't create life. So the closest thing to God is a woman. If not, a woman is God. And she should be able to create, without having to protect physically, worry about, just, be able to do and nurture and just evolve the love. And a man, to me, their job is to make sure that women are protected, and that, they have the ability to raise and create life unobstructed, And for me, I don't really trust men too much. They have testosterone and they're competitive by nature. That's what it is. So I don't know why men want to be around a bunch of men. The most successful man in the room has a bullseye on his back, as he should. But I find that women are a little more loyal. They celebrate a little more when you win. They feel like they've won. They don't want what you have. You know what I mean? And they seem to be a lot more focused. Of course, a woman's, they have more estrogen, so they will be more emotional. They're supposed to be, But a man, because he has that testosterone and the ability to build muscle, should be able to control his emotions and do what's right for the bigger picture, not himself. But what I find that in these days, dudes are starting to think it's cool to go Dutch or find a girl that's going to pay for their life. And to me, that's corny. I couldn't live with myself doing that. Even if my girl is rich and has enough, I'm still paying for everything. I'm going to still handle everything just as a man. That's just how I feel. I'm not saying a woman can't. I just feel as a man, that's my job. So for me, and you've seen how I roll, really. It's like I really like female energy around me. It makes more sense. And it's better to have, an environment for my children. So, I had to change my whole course and my whole perspective on life when I had daughters. I could no longer have my, children around, insecure men that have gone through unrecognized trauma. You know what I'm saying? And have any of my daughters have to deal with the recourse or the buckshot of any of that. So I had to create an environment where they can be around and be happy, and they can evolve freely with no stress and no worry. And because I did that for them, it became a better environment for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not going back. Yeah.
I appreciate that, and I'll say this to you because I know you, and I appreciate the friendship that we've been able to establish. But you got a lot going on. I'm all in your kitchen. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm looking in the back, seeing what's on the stove back there. You got people. You got the baby. You got the dog barking. Come on.
Well, it's COVID. It's COVID, so we working. Well, we working from home, but I don't know what's. Okay. This Nicolette, the COVID survivor. So that's the other project coming on. That's Nicolette. It's not right. Alright. There's already man in the kitchen. You wait for me to go perform. Look, see him? Here you go. You see, he already got his own phone line, baby desktop, the DVDs. You got the DVD stocks. You got the DVD, See socks? Little DVD stocks. What we having for dinner tonight? Pasta. So we're having pasta tonight. And then Rocky over here. There's a couple of those. There's Cookie right there. She's the killer. Cookie! See? There's Governor.
Cookie looks like she's cleaning herself. But that's the governor. Hey, you know what? I still have my pair of socks.
Oh, yeah. Come on. We got more. There's Hallie.
You got one of the dogs in your house?
We got 4 dogs. That's not Rocky. Every girl's not Rocky, bro. That's Hallie. That's Hallie. That's what I was saying like that. Hold on. Keep going, Rocky. Here's the Rocky. And then hold on. And then well, you just said that. You wanted to talk. This is Camilla.
Hi.
Camilla's editing the doc at Rocky's documentary about the whole process. So she's in there editing the doc. Camilla. She's from
Amsterdam.
I know, from Amsterdam.
You were gonna say Denmark.
I wasn't gonna say Denmark. Yeah.
Listen, I got a question from Christian Smith here from me. Christian Smith wants to know, hey, are you gonna be sending to the Foxy Studios, which I was gonna bring you guys down there. Man, they really have a lot of love and respect for you. You invited me to bring them down, but of course COVID hit. So they're looking forward to coming down and checking the studios out after we get everything cleaned up. But Christian wanted me to ask you, Dave, are you going to be accepting any new scripts in the future, or have you thought about doing any publishing of books?
Oh yeah, well,
and these are some questions. And Christian he's my co-producer of this podcast.
Well, actually, I'm relaunching Dame Dash Studios, the app, and on the app you'll be able to digitally get books, and you'll be able to get the magazine and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm definitely always looking at scripts if they're good, to shoot, always. So I'm always reading scripts. And as soon as COVID, I just shot a comedy on Kanye's ranch, and during COVID, and I'm about to shoot one on my own ranch, a scary movie, and about a ghost, and then I'm going to shoot a zombie movie,
about what?
A ghost.
You said about a ghost?
Ghost,
About a ghost.
not a goat, a ghost.
Tell me who's gonna play the ghost?
I'm not sure yet. I have a couple. It depends on like COVID, really. I would have been shooting. I'm starting to shoot again in March. Hopefully the world will be a little safer, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and also a lot of what I'm doing is trying to educate, and again, no opinion about other people. I know what I'm doing as it relates to the vaccine, but I am seeing that black people are getting hit the hardest with it, and black people are the number one people that don't want to take the vaccine. So I want to make sure that
vaccine.
Pardon?
How do you feel about the vaccine?
Well, I'm diabetic. I'm taking it. I don't really have a choice, and I think I take more chances not taking it. Not taking it than taking it because I have children. I'm diabetic. I have to be outside. I can't be contagious like that. You know what I mean? I just can't do it. And a lot of people depend on me, and I've been dependent on insulin and, you know, things that doctors have made for years. So I don't, you know, I know and I understand how culturally we should feel, how we've been tricked, and you know, but it's just if I just feel like when we know too much too soon, that agenda's pushed, and that if, let's say, I was trying to destroy black people, I might put out something that kills everybody but black people more, and then convince black people not to take what's going to cure them. But I do know what's impacting our culture the hardest. So I do want, like, you know, I have like Dr. Chris and people in the commission that can tell you exactly who made the vaccine and where it's from, and, you know, because there's a lot of questions that need to be asked rather than what you're being fed based on algorithms on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, well, listen, you know, it's Black History Month, and you see I'm rocking Fred Sanford, right?
Oh, yeah, he was a legit funny guy.
Yeah.
So I'm relaunching February 11th. So, you know, the app now is 24 hours of streaming. You can buy what you see, and you can buy books and clothes. So, you know, the innovation is it's not just Netflix anymore. It's, you know, Netflix plus, you know, Amazon, and you can buy exactly what you like and what you see in all these brands I'm making. And again, I had to make the app myself. I had to build it myself as opposed to licensing the technology, which is what I was doing before. Yeah.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Black history, if you have to think of anybody in history that motivates you, that encourages you, that gets your engine revved up, who would that be?
I mean, there's a lot of people, but I've always loved Muhammad Ali, you know. And when I learned exactly what Martin Luther King did and how he did it, I thought he was very strategic and smart and fearless. You know, it's easy to talk about racism from another coast, but when you write in it in the church and they write outside, some people usually don't act so calm. And I thought it was very smart of him to showcase, you know, to play on the humanity of the rest of the world by convincing black people to get beat without hitting back. So, you know, there's times that I can, you know, kind of take from certain things what kind of sacrifices you make or certain ways to implement strategy to expose certain things, you know, like that. And then, you know, Farrakhan taught me how to farm, you know, and he's always made me feel proud of who I am. But I feel like a lot of what he's teaching gets overlooked because sometimes people are scared of certain things he says. But there are some really great things that people should not be scared of. And for black people, it's buying land and learning how to farm and be sustainable. You know, he taught me about GMO seeds, and, you know, he's always been there when I need any advice or guidance. You know what I mean? So he's living, a person. Taj Mahal is a musician that's still living that I consider my OG. He's a blues singer that was like the Dame Dash of blues back then, you know, in the 40s, and can tell you everything. He's the smartest man I know. And he can tell you everything about every piece of music from 1950 or 40 to now. He knows everything.
Well, I tell you what, speaking of music, what do you think of music today? I mean, I said, and I you know, you and I talked about a number of interviews that you've had in the past, and talked about a number of issues, but I feel comfortable in asking you, how do you feel about music today? What do you think of some of the stuff that's out here? What advice do you give to many of our young men and women who are looking to enter into the business? They have dreams and goals and aspirations, man, they're talented as hell, but they just can't seem to get a break. What do you say to them?
Well, I think today, especially, you can do it yourself. You know, if you're waiting for somebody to give you an opportunity, when there's an internet and there's TikTok and there's SoundCloud, it doesn't make sense, and you're not gonna get it. You know, if you're waiting to be given something, you know, I always, when I was younger, when I'm 50, which I'm about to be in May, I'm like, I'm not gonna be that guy that looks at younger people and doesn't understand what's going on the concrete and judge their music. So I never judge younger people's music. I just enjoy what I enjoy, you know. So music has changed, and it's supposed to. I don't expect music to be the same as it was when I was 21. You know, that's like 30 years ago. So, but I don't expect me to understand all the music that all the younger people are making. You know, I live basically in a bubble. I used to be outside every day, and now I'm not. So it's hard sometimes for me to really gauge what's popping and what's popping about it. So sometimes I'll be intrigued by new music to figure out what it is that is because sometimes, like, I remember when I would make music, sometimes the older cats wouldn't understand what was genius about certain parts of the music. You know what I'm saying? And what it is that you're not seeing. And a lot of time, us as older people, we don't know exactly what those kids are relating to within that music. We think it might be the lyrics, and it's not that at all. It's a beat or a way, or it's a drill, or it's whatever it is. So, you know, if I'm intrigued, I'll study so that I can see it from a younger person's perspective, and then judge it based on the competition that's in that circle. And that's interesting and intriguing to me because it's like, you know, understanding another culture. Another age is like another culture. Another generation is like another culture. Every 10 years, I'm not on the street. It's like, you know, somebody goes to jail and comes home, you know, they do 5 years. Everything's changed. I didn't have to go to jail to leave. But when I come back, everything's different all the time.
Yeah, I got a group of guys here that I had spoke to you about previously, Chris and Dante and Will and Akeem. Just some men, stand-up young men who, you know, we spoke about you, man, and I sat and listened to how much admiration they have for you. And I thought, wow, and I remember the day I got you on the phone, and they were blown away. I'm looking forward to when we get this thing cleaned up here with this pandemic to bring them down to Hobbiton Studio to allow you to drop some of those nuggets. Because I believe, Dame, it's people like you who've been there and done that. You can change the trajectory and change the mindset and continue to motivate young men like this to continue to push forward. Because I'm telling you something. With young black men today, if we don't get behind them and continue to encourage them and let them know that everything is going to be all right, but let them know that they are in safe spaces, then we're going to be in a world of trouble.
Well, what people have to understand about being young, and again, I take myself back to when I was young. I was only listening to whoever was getting the most money, whoever was the freshest, whoever was fearless, and whoever was cool. You know, whoever was the plug. So in order to teach someone how to be rich, sometimes you got to be rich. To teach somebody how to be fearless, you have to be fearless so they can see you being fearless. They have to see you winning. They have to see you challenged. They have to see you. You know, a lot of the issue is that we are not transparent about our success as a culture. So whenever I'm successful, I make it a point to teach. I don't look at other people from my culture being successful as competition. I look at them as partners, where other, you know, unlike-minded people might believe that if somebody from my culture is richer than me or, you know, is stronger than me, then they become my competition and I have to protect them from another culture because I think the other culture is the plug. And that's what we need to show these kids, that the other culture is not the plug, that we are the plug, that no one has to give us anything, we have to do it, and that life is not meant to be easy. A boss has to untie knots, but he has to lead by example, you know? So, you know, if I'm going to teach it, I got to be it. And that's what I think is important. But I also have to pass the jewels. I got to pass the plug. I have to be generous with information, you know? I feel like if I'm the plug, I'll get protected as opposed to, you know, my own culture fighting me to protect another culture because they think they're the plug and they're not.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, Dame. I thank you so much for the time. There's so much more we can talk about and share with this listening audience here. I appreciate the fact you would take the time to help me kick this thing off, brother. You've always been extremely encouraging.
Can I ask you a question? So what's your main thing now? You're not the commissioner no more. What's going on?
Man, we'll talk off camera, but I'm doing I'm real blessed, man, to be over and do what I do over with a man by the name of Dr. Federico Zaragoza. Man, I'm a chief of staff over at the College of Southern Nevada, man. It's a pretty nice spot there where we get out there and help promote higher education, man. So
Well, we should definitely talk about the education piece because I am curious, because my daughter goes to college. I pay $60,000 a year, and she's doing college from home.
From home, yeah.
And a lot of kids, that's not really doesn't work for them if they don't have the right kind of support around them to keep them focused. So the new approach on education, what's that going to look like, And if you want me to talk to the kids, because I do want to showcase these business models as I do them because they're new, and it's things that other people can do. I would love to talk to any class you got, any college. It's tour now with Zoom. I could do it from the house. So just let me know. I'm available.
We will definitely set up something. I'm going to have Sean
Careful.
Or I'm going to have Brian Akins or someone on our team at CSN. We'll definitely look forward to you talking to our group. Man, we have some amazing students that attend CSN and UNLV and Nevada State, the whole 9 yards. But you would definitely be one that will be able to really help share some knowledge and really motivate these young people. Dame, thank you.
Thank you, bro. We've been talking about you doing this for a while, like years. I'm glad we did it.
We've been talking for about 2 years.
Yeah. I think since I beat you in ping pong that time.
Hey, I was hoping that you didn't go.
I know you always hope I'm not going to bring it up. You always hope I'm not going to bring it up.
Listen, I hate that you brought that up. You were over at the Pearson Center. Let everybody know you know where the Pearson Center is over in 89106.
Yeah, you shut down the Pearson to play me in ping pong, and the last game we played, I won. So I'm a champ.
I did not want you to look bad in front of your woman.
The first game you did. That's what was funny about it. But that's when I had to be like, this is what that's all about. Gave me the plastic ping pong paddle and all that. Once I got a wood one, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen. I just want to tell you, man, we up on this new thing called pickleball. You playing pickleball out there? You familiar with it?
Nah, I don't know nothing about no pickleball. What's pickleball?
I'm gonna get you up on some pickleball, brother. It's a modified version of tennis, but I'm gonna get you out on the court. But Dame, listen, I don't want to hold
you. Don't want to do the tennis thing. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do tennis.
Man, go and eat you some popcorn.
You don't want to do tennis.
We appreciate your time, man.
Don't do the tennis.
So much, man. They're rocking. Nicolette, we appreciate you. Love you guys. Man.
All right, February 11th, Dame Dash Studios. Get the app. If you don't, if you had it before, get it back. Trust me. All right.
Poppington, baby. It's popping and Poppington.
All right.
We'll talk to you next time, man. Right here. Thank you, Dan. Love you, man.
Love you too, bro.
All right. Deuces. Hey, thank y'all so much, man. Live interview with my